Hey, what's up, everybody? So, a lot of you know me for my relationship advice. A lot of you know me for my life advice. That is my job and that is what I do. But before I am any of that, I am very much a woman of God. And I do operate in what God has given me and put inside of me. And so a lot of you have, been on my calls, you're in my small groups, and I have given prophetic things. And this particular prophetic word that I am about to share with you, I have not shared publicly. I have shared within my groups, but God keeps telling me to share it. So I'm definitely about to share it now. So one of the things that God had spoken to me about at the end of last year, going into this year, was how tired he was. How tired he was of those that are in the kingdom but not being kingdom. Those who have the platform to be able to use it, but somehow is using it for their own service. This is the year, 2024, is the year of exposure, the year for those that have the kingdom but aren't doing kingdom business. Now, here's the thing. And you got to watch out for the enemy. That's why it is so important in this season that you have spiritual discernment. You learn how to fast. You learn how to consecrate. You learn how to pray. You make sure that you are doing kingdom things. We oftentimes are so quick to say, well, leaders this and people's this and people that. Listen, this is very much the year of exposure. So if your house isn't in order, get your house in order. If your house is in order, keep it clean and in order. Because the enemy's turned up times 10, trying his best to demolish the kingdom. And God is saying, look, I am coming back for a church without spot or wrinkle. Right now, there's so many spots and so many wrinkles. There's the small churches who have religion, who people are afraid to come into the church because they're judging you for your clothes and your makeup. But they have a fire and word, and they have a fear, and they have a boldness like no other. If a lot of the small churches, they're trying to look at what a person looks like and allow a person to come in the church, that boldness that you have, that you're not scared to cast out demons, you're not scared to call out things, you're not scared to do open rebuke, all of those things. But the problem is you look at what a person looks like. And God is saying that is a problem because I'm needing to raise up kingdom. And yes, a woman's going to come into church with some pants on. Yes, she's going to have some makeup on. And guess what? You can't even reach her because of what she looks like. The judgment on the outside is not allowing you to do the things on the inside. I was always told you got to catch the fish before you scale it. And that is one of the issues. And then we have the larger churches, the mega churches that have so much going on, so many Jezebel and Delilah spirits. And now the Leviathan spirit has creeped in, and it's not all mega churches are bad. Please understand that. There was one mega church that did an open rebuke, and we need to get used to that. That is kingdom. That is what God is looking for, that right there. And that is why God is saying, I am raising up people. Those who have a bigger platform, those who have these mega churches and aren't doing what they're supposed to do. God says, guess what? Don't get mad and don't start judging when the pimp becomes the preacher. Don't start judging when the stripper gets off the pole and gets in the pulpit. Don't start judging when the thug start giving his testimony and start drawing people to God. Don't start judging when the woman at the well becomes the present day woman that goes and talks about God, because God is looking for people who's not scared, who's bold, who's going to say what thus saith the Lord in Jesus' name. Who's going to do kingdom business? That is the problem. God was telling me there is no kingdom business going on the way that it needs to go on. There is more of the world and not more of me. And if I got to raise up my own, I will. If I got to move some to the back and put some in front, I will. So in this season, there will be exposure. It just will. You'll see a lot of churches being exposed for things, whether it's things leaders know that's going on. That's why that's your house. If you are a leader, that's your house. You take care of your house. You don't let nobody come in your house and act a fool. Kudos, hats off to all of the pastors, the leaders out here who are taking charge of their house. That's kingdom. God is saying, I want my kingdom. I'm coming back for a church without spot or wrinkle. And right now, the world is going crazy. Ever since COVID, the world has been going crazy. People don't want to go to church. They want to watch online. They got a problem with the church. But guess what? You go to work. You invest in your business, you go to seminars, and Susie's salad may be hurting your feelings, but you still gonna go and get your money. But then when it comes to church, you got an issue because you want to say church hurt. Because when your job hurts you, you don't say job hurt. You say, you know what? I'm not going to worry about who hurt me. I'm still going to go to work. So if you want to do kingdom business, you're not going to worry about who hurt you, because everybody in the church doesn't mean church. Everybody that says kingdom isn't kingdom. That's why God says, I'm coming and I'm separating right now this year. I am. There are a lot of people that you think are kingdom. I'm going to show that they're not kingdom. There are a lot of people that you think that shouldn't be kingdom are going to bust out and be kingdom. Because God says, I am looking for people who will do my will and do my work and not be scared. Who understands that if they were in the Bible day, they will be the ones that walk beside Jesus. Who understands that what they are doing is their obedient servant to God. They're not worried about the social media numbers. They're not worried about the likes. But kingdom business, as long as you're doing God business, He gonna take care of you. And if you have any question about it, ask the people in the fiery furnace. It was 3 of them. They threw them in the fire, but guess what? They came out now looking like smoke. Just do what God is calling you to do in this season, because the enemy is running rampant, seeking, using whatever he can. These different demons, these spirits nowadays, they're very different. They've had an opportunity to become so bold to where, yes, they're reading the scriptures. Yes, they're in praise and worship. Yes, they're everywhere within your church. It used to be a demon would sit down and not move. Now these demons are active because somebody somewhere has not been on their post in the kingdom. And that is why God is saying, I gotta switch this up. Go to talking when God get to changing. Don't go to talking when the people that you think shouldn't be in kingdom is doing kingdom business. It's also time for a lot of churches to do mental health awareness events. It's time to do those mental health awareness events, because guess what? Mental health is real. And when mental health is ignored and mental health isn't in a therapy state, people go home, sit in their mental illness. When they go home and sit in their mental illness, that's when the enemy comes in their mind. And the enemy begins to play with their mind and toy with their mind and talk about things. And guess what the enemy's about to start doing? He's about to start toying with their mind and playing with their mind to where they're going to want to attack the church. So it's time to raise mental health awareness. Stop sitting down and saying, oh, that's just a demon. It's going to turn into one. It is. It's going to turn into one. And it's going to come after the church. So when people are coming to your church, don't even wait for them to come to your church. Start doing more mental illness events. It is Mental Illness Month. Every church should have some type of event going on. Stop sitting back. People are coming to church with their mental illness. They're not getting the help that they need. They're going home. The enemy is playing with their mind, making them think the pastor don't care, making them think the church don't care, making them think people of God do not care. And if it gets in their mind so much and they don't know what to think and they don't know the voice because they're coming to church hearing God's voice, then they're going home hearing the enemy, and they're so confused to where they don't know what voice they're hearing. And then they hear a voice that says, go attack the church. And now they're attacking the church. And we're like, well, what happened? Well, Susie and Johnny came to church, but the church didn't even look and see and realize. We got to get back on our post. We got to get back on our post. That's why God just keeps telling me I'm about to expose those that aren't doing my kingdom business. And I'm about to raise up some people real quick. You're about to see people get in ministry super fast. And you're going to be like, well, wasn't they just drinking 2 weeks ago? Wasn't they just doing this? Yes, they was. And guess what? God will make you clean real quick. The woman at the well had a whole man in her house, but she left that man in that bed and went and told everybody, come see a man who told me about myself. Don't minimize God, and don't minimize what God is getting ready to do in this season, because what God is getting ready to do in this season is a shift. And either you're going to get with the shift or you're going to get exposed and left out of the shift. But that's up to you, whichever way that you do it. But this is the year of kingdom. This is the year of kingdom business. This is the year of God bringing back his kingdom and getting the people that aren't afraid to go out and do his work. Don't care about going viral if the world say they wrong. Don't care about people not liking them because they're doing God's work and doing kingdom work. Because God's going to come back for his church. He really is. And it's sooner than you think. Since the enemy's piping it up, because the enemy knows That's why he's working so hard. That's why if you notice, most of things that's being posted now is about churches, trying to get people away from church, trying to get people to get their opinion, trying to get the church against the church, having the people at odds, having people to say stuff, because he knows God is serious about what he's doing. When are we going to wake up and realize that we need to be about kingdom business? It's not time to be popular. It's not time to be popular at all. It's time to get kingdom business together. It's time to do God's will. Don't be afraid of men in their faces. God is going to push you, back you, and make sure you're okay. That's why you got to make sure you fast. You make sure you pray. Because people think that you got to lay hands to cast out a demon. No, you don't. You can just talk to them. You ain't got to do all of that, but they used to that happening. But get ready for some unusual things to happen, starting with the people that's about to start doing God's work and start doing God's will. When you see somebody come off the street and they start doing what God wants them to do, don't say a word. Don't judge them. Because God said, guess what? I done sat back for a long time. I done watched the church look at people with clothes on and not want to help them, not want to do this, shun on them and talk about them and judge them. I done watch people be so worried about their popularity so they don't even care about me. All they want to do is be popular. I'm looking for somebody that I can raise up. So don't give it. When you see people that you thought were in the streets and you can look down their social media and you can see all the ratchet stuff they done and now they in God, do me a favor. Don't even judge them, because you had the same opportunity to go out here and reach people. But instead you said and you judge. Like God said, I am raising up people who don't mind doing my work. I am raising up people who not gonna judge other people. I'm raising up people that the world can look at and see, if God did it for her, God did it for him, he could do it for me too, because God did a lot for a lot of you. And you act like you forgot where you came from. You act like you forgot that God delivered you. You act like you forgot that you didn't sleep with somebody's husband and had a child. You act like you forgot that you were not here slanging drugs. You act like you forgot you were on drugs. When did we get saved and forgot that God did so much in our life? Since you don't want to tell your testimony, God says, I will raise up some people that don't mind sharing it. So this is the year of kingdom. And this is the year of kingdom business. This is the year for some to be exposed. But this is also the year where people will rise up and God will use who he wants to use. So don't judge who you see being used, because I promise you it's the time and the season. And God says it's about to start happening now.